have until now. This is the first time in my life that I truly ever have. My mom worked for American Airlines my entire life, and I have flown 1,000 times, but never have I ever had to fly literally over Europe, over the Atlantic Ocean, over the Gulf of Mexico, and then stop in Houston. It was that was insane. But anyways, you have to forgive me just a little bit on that. If I'm just a tiny bit scatterbrained, I'm very, very good at this right here. But yeah, just you have to give me just an ounce of a little bit of leeway. But if you guys have any, any trading questions, of course, just send them to me privately, or just put them into the chat, whatever. And I can definitely, help in any way I can with that. But when I was talking earlier, what I am personally always, I guess, known for, as weird as that sounds to say, but one of the things that I guess that I always have been able to provide a lot of value to is the word psychology. And it's always been something that, again, I've understood as that there's no such thing as trading psychology. There is only psychology. There's no such thing as sports psychology. It is all psychology at the end of the day, because the same exact functions and disciplines and behaviors that would make you successful in sports, or learning to play an instrument, or to start a diet, or to do this or to do that, are exactly the same type of disciplines and things that you would need to do for trading. None of it is ever different. My thing that I always try to express about that is it's not how, it is why. When I say that, I'm saying that a lot of people will ask, like on my sessions or just in general, Mike, how do I become a better trader? How do I become more disciplined? How do I start to see the results, or the thing, just how? But my thing is that it is never how, it is why, because how is a simple answer. And that's, a question that I like to ask all of you guys. For the ones that can go into the chat, answer me this. I don't know how long it is that you guys have been trading, but assuming that you've been trading, for, I don't know, a decent amount of time, a couple of months, 6 months, a year, whatever. Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? Yes or no? Just point blank, period. Do you know what it is that you need to be doing, but you're not doing it? And if you're not, and it's about being intellectually honest with yourself, not just with me. But again, I always ask that question because people will say, well, how do I stop blowing accounts? Okay, that's easy. Math. How do I remove emotion from the trading? Math. How do I stop revenge trading? Math. How do I stop babysitting? Math. How do I start to actually scale or compound or grow in an account? Math. Again, how is a very, very, very easy question to answer. How, again, and if you don't understand what that means, math is simple. And this is a question, let me ask you guys right now. If you were to get into a trade right now, buy or sell, doesn't matter, on whatever pair, do you know what you were going for percentage-wise on your account, yes or no? Not that you have, and then of course that ultimately gets translated into pips, and yes, your lot size, a take profit, and a stop loss. If you do not know what those number thresholds, what those actually mean, then to me, all you're saying is, well, I want to catch pips and make a bunch of money. What does that even mean? You see, like, it doesn't mean anything if there is not an objective reason as to why you were even getting into the opportunity in the first place. Meaning that you can be the best technical analysis trader out there. It doesn't mean anything if, again, even if I grant you that the trades that you were getting into, yeah, sure, you could win them. You could win the next 30 in a row. But then it only takes 1, 2, 3 losses to mitigate all 30 of the wins, making it ultimately redundant, meaning that it doesn't matter how good of a quote unquote technical analysis trader you are. If, again, there is no math behind what it is that you are doing, then I ask you, what are you doing? But that's, again, how. That's the easy part. How do you stop doing all of those things? Again, it's math. And if again you were not simply doing it, and if you don't know how do you do it, how much is in your account, which is, by the way, the most important thing in trading is your account balance, not how good you are at trading, not your winning trade success rate. Because if again you were doing what's known as risk management, and at the very, very bare minimum, like 2-to-1, which nobody really does, but just even at the bare minimum, you don't even have to win half of the trades that you get into, meaning that you don't have to be this amazing person, this beast of a trader. If again, one winning trade is mitigating 3 or 4 losses, instead of doing it the way that all of us have been taught to do it, which is one loss mitigates 3 to 4 wins. It's about flipping that the other way, especially if you've experienced what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, of where you have gone on a winning streak before. Have you guys gone on a winning streak before? And you won X amount of trades, and then one reason or another, something happened and all of it went away. Again, if that happened, if you know what I'm talking about, it's a simple calculus. It is math. That's how you avoid all of that. But again, how? Easy answer. Why? Why should you be doing this? Why should you be a disciplined trader? Why should you, again, not how, why? And what that really psychologically means is, why is it that I'm going to pay the price mentally in order to make the sacrifices in order to get results I've never had before? This is what the brain is communicating to itself every day, because what we do here by definition, guys, is not easy. It's redundantly simple, but it's not easy in the sense of the mental wrestling that we have to do with ourselves, and how it is that we have to wrestle. Hold on, we gotta mute somebody. Got it? Who is it? Can everybody mute? Okay, thanks. All right, yeah, then we're good. But when I say that, it's that we need to understand is that if none of us again come from this world that is about trading and understanding risk assessment and compounding money, or trading money for money instead of time for money, and having a job and working for 40 years and all of that stuff that again we more than likely all of us are used to, the transition from a completely different frame of mind, from a completely different framework, from what it is that all of us have been taught to do, into something different, the mind, the brain itself is going to have not only resistance to the idea, it is going to battle with itself, because you are consciously going against subconscious beliefs. And you better write that down. I consciously am going against subconscious beliefs that I have been taught since I was a child. Like, for example, I've been told my entire life that I need to go to school, go to college, get a job, and work for 40 years. To some degree, weren't every single one of you guys taught that just like I was? If so, that is a subconscious belief. It is something that we are not constantly thinking about, but it has been wired into the brain, because again, we have been taught it since we were children. Now, here's the conscious mind going against it. And which version of the mind is stronger? Do you guys know how much stronger the subconscious mind is as opposed to the mind of you that I'm speaking to right now? It's unbelievably more powerful. It's like Krillin versus like God Gogeta. That's like how like it is not fair on the level, the power levels between the two, but that's what we are talking about here. And so when I say the why, what I'm saying is, what is the objective or the purpose or the reason that you will persevere through the mental challenges? Because if you do not have a clear and defined objective in what it is that you are going for, your brain will talk itself out of this. Your brain will find a way to do something along the lines of, well, this is too hard. I'm not smart enough. I don't get it. You know what? I could go try this. Whatever. You will be in a mental battle with yourself, because your brain, when you meet resistance and do not get, the results that you want immediately, whatever, you will go against your worst enemy, which is you. And your brain will again start having an internal dialogue of, man, can I really do this? Or should I be doing this? Is this something that even works? I haven't made any money, blah, 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 right? The why. Why should you persevere? Why can you get through the pain? The perseverance, the pain, the challenges, the frustration, the doubt, the anxiety, all of it. If you do not have a clear and identified objective at the end of it, your brain will talk itself out of it, because eventually it's going to be like, why the hell am I even doing this? Oh, because all I want is money or more time. Well, I can go get that somewhere else. There you go. Your brain wins. You see what I'm saying? Trading is a redundantly simple thing. This is nothing that is extremely confusing at all. The market goes up or down. There is a blue button and there is a red button. It is that simple. It is to the point. It is to the epitome of a coin flip. What makes it difficult is this, and this is another big, strong bit of psychology that people do not understand. Why is it, and especially for the new people, like if you've been on my session before, don't answer this question. If you've been, or if you have a job, not even if you have a job, why is it that people show up to work on time? Just at a job. Why? Why do people show up to work on time? Why did they wear the uniform that they're supposed to?
Because you're trading your time for money.
N-
And
no, yes, there it is. That's the word. Consequences. What happens if you do not show up to work on time? What happens if you do not wear the uniform? A consequence, a punishment. You will not have that job for much longer if, again, you don't show up to work on time, right? In trading, what's to stop you from making the worst decision? What's to stop you right now from over leveraging on a trade when you absolutely shouldn't be? What's to stop you right now from going over, from over leveraging, 100%ing on a trade that you shouldn't be, or trading at the wrong time? What stops you? Is there a boss? Who, if not you, is giving you consequences? If you don't understand what I mean when I say that, then let's take the job analogy and go back to it. Instead of you having a job at a place, what if that place was your business? What if it was let's just say a restaurant? And let's say that you were the owner of this restaurant and you held no standards. Meaning that, yeah, sure, it says on the building or it says on Google or whatever that you open at 9 a.m., but you don't hold any standards. So, yeah, sure, it does say that you open at 9 a.m., but your employees don't show up until 1. Why? Because they won't get in trouble, right? Because you're not holding any standards. You're not gonna discipline them, right? Because you don't have any standards. How long do you think your business would last? How long do you think your business of a restaurant would last if you didn't, again, enforce a uniform standard? If you did not enforce a time that people would have, that need to, be at work? If you did not discipline people for showing up late, for speaking however they want to customers, like what if they were just cussing people out just left and right? How long do you think, again, your business would last? It wouldn't last very long. Because if you were to think about like a McDonald's, if a McDonald's employee does not show up to work on time, they will be fired and they will put somebody in a position that will open that restaurant at the time that that they need to be there, because that is a standard. That is again the responsibility that comes with that position. Now your business is your trading. So again, I ask you, if you over leverage tonight, today, this week, who's going to discipline you? What's going to stop you from doing the things that you know you shouldn't be doing? And a lot of people, and you might think, well, I'll take like a really big loss. No, 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 no. That's the result. That's like the restaurant closing down. I'm talking before you get to the result of having a blown account or anything. What's to stop that from happening? If you are not disciplining yourself, then who is? There is no manager behind me or behind any of you guys that say, don't do that. That's what we have been taught to do our entire lives. We've always had parents behind us. We've always had teachers behind us. We've always had counselors behind us, or other type of adult figures, or teachers, or counselors, or bosses, or assistant managers, or you see what I'm saying? We have always had this authoritative type of a mentality behind us, watching over us. And that the moment that something like that goes away, it's like we just lose our minds. And then just all, just everything just goes out the window. That is what happens in trading. Because again, you tell me, if you were not, you yourself right now, someone's got to be muted. Hold on. If again you were to get into a trade, what's truly going to stop you from making a bad decision? If you do not have the ability to be able to discipline yourself, and by the way, in what way? I don't know. Do I have to be the one to tell you how you need to discipline yourself? Take away your phone, take away a privilege, take away something that you actually want, make the sting hurt. Like it needs to be a punishment. It needs to hurt. If you take away something that you don't give, you don't care about, then it doesn't, then your brain's like, well, that's fine. I don't care. You have to take away something that's important to you. You have to take away something that is important to you, just as much as like when a parent would ground you from like a phone or from the internet, or you know what I'm saying? If you don't have something like that, then again, what's going to stop you from making the wrong decisions? You see what I'm saying, guys? Is this making sense to everybody? This is not complicated. It is how, not, I'm sorry. It is not how, it is why. This is a very, very simple, and that's the thing. It's that once this becomes clarity, then it's like, oh, do you guys want to know what the strongest lesson I learned from trading was? When I blew an account after 3 months of building it. Can you guys imagine losing 3 months of work in one night? Do you guys know what that feels like? You want to know what happened that night? I was, of course, not happy, but I was also more excited about trading than I have ever been in my entire life, because I realized that I allowed all of that to happen. I built an account up for 3 months, or it was a little less than 3 months. It wasn't crazy. It wasn't massive, stupid, ridiculous gains. And it wasn't crazy, massive losses. None of that. It was just, again, it was just, steady. There was some wins and there were some losses. And then on that one particular night, I was looking at my trading results and I was like, yo, look at how good of a trader I am. And so the ego immediately got inflated, and my brain was like, LOL, and threw out all of the discipline and all of the things that even got my brain to the egotistical frame of work that it got to in the first place. The thing that put me into that egotistical pedestal of myself was the thing I, in fact, threw out the window, the discipline, the things that I was supposed to be doing. My brain said, why do I even need to do all this? Look at how good of a trader I am. LOL. Over leverage. Go all in, bro. Lambos. Have y'all seen that meme? That's the epitome of more or less what happened. And then I passed out with my phone in my hand because I was up for like 2 days or something. And I fell asleep. Monetary policy came out on the end. Didn't even know what monetary policy was at that point. And that's why I look at news every day now, by the way. Passed out with my phone in my hand, woke up and the entire account was gone. Yeah, I was upset that the account was gone, but it put everything into clarity for me. It was, in fact, actually one of the best things that could have possibly ever happened to me because it put it into the frame of mind that I was in control of all of that. Everything that happened, every single thing that happened, I controlled. I made the decisions to do all of that. I'm the one that built it up for those, for the couple of months. And then I consciously made the decision to throw everything out the window and over leverage. Then this is the result. Yes, I was burned. But how did you guys learn to not touch fire? I learned that lesson. And that's why I said it was like one of the best things that could have ever happened to me because it put it into, it was a clicking moment. Oh, I get it. I got it at that point. I truly didn't just hear someone like me saying this to y'all. I got it at that point. You see, there is a difference. Now I was standing on that understanding instead of trying to understand it. I was standing on that belief as opposed to trying to learn how to believe it. It was a completely different experience. And then from that point forward, trading was completely different. That's what caused it to happen. If you guys have not experienced something like this before, more than likely you will, because even though despite how many times people told you don't touch that glowing red thing, did you touch it? If so, then you're probably going to have to go through an experience just like I did in some way, shape, or form, because humans grow through pain. We learn nothing through pleasure. We only grow through pain. We only grow through things that we don't want to go through, that we're not ready to go through, that we don't want to face about ourselves, that we don't want to acknowledge. We are not growing with, a coconut filled with rum with a little umbrella on the beach. You don't learn anything in that situation. It is pleasure. Pain is growth. Pleasure is pleasure. So in pain, and that right there, what I was just saying, that is a perfect demonstration of the pain that I'm talking about. Something that happened but now think about it the other way. I could have let that experience destroy me and I could have stopped trading and never came back to it. I saw somebody in the chat a little bit ago say perspective. You know how many people could have allowed, or same exact situation. All of that happens and they blow 3 months of work in a night and say, oh, nope, and quit trading and ultimately go back to whatever. To me, it was one of the best things that could have ever happened. Honestly, I would have much rather had it happen there with 3 months of time than 3 years worth of time. You see what I'm saying? I'm happy that it happened there instead of way later, which could have caused a bigger catastrophic loss, later, further down the point or down the road at some time. My point is, guys, is that you need to understand why it is that you're doing this. And when I say why, I do not mean the cliched why. My passions, assume money and time is no longer an issue. What do you do with the money and time? If you cannot answer that question immediately right now, then in my opinion, you are a slave to money. Because if you don't even know why you're doing it, then all you're doing is trying to just make money because that's all you've ever been taught to do. What do you do with the time? What do you do with the money? Mom and dad is taken care of. You have a dream car. You might have the house of your dreams. All of that. Great. It's all assume. What do you do with it? If you cannot if you have to think about it, then you don't know what it is. Mine is music and gaming. It has always been that since I was a child. It's the thing that puts a smile on my face. It's the thing that makes me happy. Truly, it's the thing that is what I love to do. What are your passions? What is it that excites you? Assume that all of the scarcity in your life is no longer scarce. You are not living this life just to eliminate the scarcity. You are not trying to survive, right? You are literally trying to thrive in life. So what do you do? You see what I'm saying? That's what the brain, and why am I saying all of this? That's what the brain needs to understand. Because when you inevitably hit a blown account or the challenges or the obstacles or the pain, your brain will desire, like my brain desires the ability to have a yacht. I want a yacht with the drums, with the music studio inside that. And then when I hit this big red button on the right-hand side of me, the ceiling opens up and the drum set comes out onto the deck of the boat. And there's crystal blue water all over the place. And so when I'm exhausted from playing drums, I just dive into crystal blue water. It has been something that I have had in my brain for a very long time because that's what I would love to do. So when I face those challenges and the obstacles and this and that, and by the way, I could paint the yacht for you, every single detail, the drum set. I mean, the universe works in details. Write that down. It's not, well, my dream car is a Lamborghini Aventador. That's not the brain, the universe. That's not strong enough. What color? What do the rims look like? What does the steering wheel feel like? What is the key fob to your Lamborghini dream car Aventador? What's it feel like? What does it sound like when you start it? What's the color interior? What does the sound system sound like when you're listening to your favorite song? You have to literally paint the reality that you want for yourself. It's not, well, I just want to live in Miami. Where in Miami? Hollywood, Miramar? Do you what kind of house? What kind of tiles on the floor? You see, the universe works in details. So just write that down and think about that as well. But again, guys, that's what helps you persevere through the challenges and the things that are happening inside of your trading. Because if, again, your only reason is, well, I really need to make a bunch of money, you could use and apply that same logic of I really need to make money as a bagger at Walmart. By definition, you will make more money at Walmart as a bagger, whether it's only $20 more or $200,000 more. By definition, that's the same thing. That's how the universe works. You don't just say, well, I just want more money. Okay, well, here's $1. By definition, that's how the universe works. You just got $1. That's more money. You didn't just want $1, you wanted $10 million. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you create that? You see what I'm saying? You have to paint the world that you desire for yourself. But I have to get ready for my stream here in a little bit, guys. But I think that is a good point. Of course, I will be live in about 20 minutes or so. So anyways, guys, I hope that this was valuable for y'all. I hope that you were able to take something away. He said that Caesar wanted to be pointed a little bit more towards psychology. So I hope that this was, again, helpful and that you guys were able to take something away from it for sure. But like I said, I'll be live here in just a little bit, but I'll go ahead and hand it back to you, Caesar, brother. Thank y'all all so much. It was a lot of fun. Sorry for the jet lag.
Sheesh, nah, bro, Mike, you honestly killed that, bro. Yo, family. If you guys went ahead and got some value from this, can you guys please drop some sevens in that for our king, our upline, our mentor? It's like you said, guys, he not only does he have his call tonight, but he has his call every single night, right? Monday through Friday, where he goes in and pours into us. And Mike, it is just honored. I'm just so honored that you were able to come on, share, a little more personal with us, and really just be able to, even after being jet lagged, even after having your own personal time in Dubai, still being ready, getting back in the trenches, and really just coming full force, full throttle, and serving us tenfold. So with that, family, if y'all ready for part two, please make sure to check out the GOAT, right? Mike himself on Go Live. He's gonna be live in about 20 minutes, guys. And above all else, take the notes that you've learned and go apply it to your team, right? There are some individuals who may have been in your chats that weren't able to make this, maybe because of family obligations, work, right? Whatever it may have been. So make sure that you're not the only one that received this information, but not just apply it and give it to your team as well. So with that, family, I'll catch you next week because it's all gas, no brakes on the education. As always, I'm your host, Cesar Rivera, aka CDG, and stay patient, stay disciplined, and the gains will come. Fire. Appreciate y'all, family. Peace.